Hello and welcome back to the channel How We Move the Decimal. In today's video I am continuing to photograph items that we got at the Salvation Army for eBay. Now I will say our Salvation Army is a little tricky at the moment, to say it nicely. Some of you guys may be experiencing this with your, I guess, chain, if you want to call it, thrift stores, and their prices just being absolutely insane. That being said, if there are still pockets of random things you'll find good prices on. Like I said, the books I got really cheap. I want to say 50 cents a book, and the newer ones sold for $5 a book, and the older ones sold for $20 a book. All of that silverware I got for $2 a wrap, so that'd be $6 total. And I went through the eBay store and I actually looked it up. So of that lot of silverware there, I have sold 13 lots from that, and I've made $153 off of $6. My highest selling was a silver spoon that I sold for $35 out of that silverware lot. One of the downfalls of being a jack of all trades when it comes to this, however, is I'm never going to be able to duplicate what I bought. I don't have a silverware supplier. I don't have someone that is supplying me with silverware. So the it's a one-off, which is great, but also kind of sad, because you're like, man, that was such a good moneymaker, but it's totally 100% a one-off, and I'm never going to ever be able to do this again. And that is unfortunate. But I guess we'll take what we can get. Also, an update on books, and I'll say this again in my next books video. I'm going to have another photographing books video pretty soon. I just have to make it, which means I have to list, which means my table has to be clean, and if you give a mouse a cookie. So from my books, so far I spent $80 on the lot. I've only gone through 270 some books. I have sold 41 books for $490.50, which is roughly $12 per book. Now, a lot sold for a lot less than that. Our lowest selling book was $3. Our highest selling book was $50. And all shipping is paid by the buyer. I do not offer free shipping. But we're about half and half on if the buyer chose media mail or ground advantage. I do give both options on there. Media mail is obviously the cheaper of the options, but some buyers want the book quicker, so they'll choose ground advantage. Media mail could be almost twice as long as ground advantage, so they'll choose ground advantage over that. So we're about half and half on if they chose media mail or ground advantage. I will say the heavier books, or the book lots that I sold, did go media mail. And out of all the books that I sold, so out of the 41 listings that sold, 8 of them were lots of 3 or more books, the largest lot being 6, the smallest lot being 3. So that is what we have right now for the books so far. This was just last year's. We have sold, I want to say, 4 more listings of the books since then, just this year. But last year, that is what we sold. $490.50 of books that we got from the estate sale. That does not count these Weight Watcher books, and there was a couple other books that were really old listings that sold. That does not count those, but out of the estate sale lot that we paid $80 for, we have made $410 from that, which is great. I will take it. Honestly, if I just lit all the other books on fire and didn't even list them at all, we're $410 up. Do I recommend going to an estate sale on the last day and saying, I will buy all the books from your estate sale for $80? If they say yes really quickly, you're screwed. That's what happened. They said yes. And I was like, oh, shoot. I originally thought I was buying 2 bookcases. I ended up buying the entire house, as in the estate sale company made us go through the basement, the garage, everywhere, and pulled all of the books out of this house. I think they knew a good deal when they could get it, and books are heavy. So they're like, hey, send those books, those heavy books with those crazy people that gave us a lucrative offer. This is kind of funny, but this is this is our normal setup. My husband will photograph on one side of the table. I'll photograph on the other side of the table. The only time that is different is if I'm photographing clothing. Because clothing is so big and takes up so much room, I will use the whole table for that. So we're down to just one person listing at a time for that. However, I did buy some new lights that we could use in our bedroom to list on a table in there. And kind of like spread it out a little bit. We stay out of the living room because the living room is the kids' area. The dining room we can kind of take over. And so we do that. But I'm sorry, you just got a ding because I got an email. But our bedroom is bigger than you think it is, or bigger than we think it is, and we're able to put a table in there. Not permanently. No, it's a folding table. It goes up and down. So we could do normal, like, hard goods on there. It's just one of those square folding tables from, like, the 90s that everybody has. We can use that to do hard goods. We cannot photograph clothes on there. We can photograph, like, hats and stuff. But it's too small for even a shirt to do that. So we really need our big dining room table to do that. That being said, we are thinking about getting rid of the round table and getting a rectangular table for the room. When we originally moved into our house, we did have a rectangular table here, but it was a very short table because it was very antique, like 150 years old. It was a family heirloom, not my family's, but it was another family heirloom of someone who married into our family, and they didn't want it, so we took it, but we couldn't even sit at it. It was ridiculous. You couldn't put a normal chair up to it. So we ended up giving it back to them, and we took this table, which was basically a curb pickup. My uncle was going to put it on the curb, and he's like, hey, do you want this? We're like, yeah, sure, we'll take this. My husband is photographing, so this goes back and forth. I know I could totally ask Google, but it's more fun to ask you guys. He's photographing, I would say, a Bruce Colville book. Other people have said Colville. So I say it like Colville, and they say Colville. I loved those books growing up. My favorite was Jeremy Thatcher, The Dragon Hatcher. My Teacher's an Alien is also a really common one. Monster Ring. Jennifer Murdley's Toad. I'm like trying to think off the top of my head all of the books that he wrote. He wrote so many books. I loved all of them. Goblins in the Castle. You tuned in for me to like randomly list Bruce Colville books off the top of my head. Classic writing, works great. Kids love it. It's fun. It's interesting. They're not worth a lot unless you can get first editions, first hardback editions, then they are worth something. Or if you have entire like collections of it, then they're worth something. This is the hardback of Monsters Ring. I don't remember if we actually ended up listing it or just looking it up. We've gotten a lot better of just using our phones to list now, or like take the pictures and then I might get on the computer and list it on the computer. Because for me and my hand dexterity, it is easier for me to list on a computer, which I can type, than it is for me to list on my phone. So I will take pictures with my phone because we both got new phones within the past year because of circumstances that were out of our control. Basically both of them broke. My husband's broke in Disney World. So that was fun. Mine just stopped working. It would randomly get calls, randomly not get calls, and randomly send them to voicemail or randomly not send them to voicemail. So I got a new phone. I have a Samsung Galaxy 22 Plus, which is not the newest phone, but it was new to me phone. And the camera is so much better than, and you're going to laugh, I was using a Samsung Galaxy Note 9, or S9 before this. So multiple year old phone. The camera was trash. my camera on my new phone is so much better. I will use that just to take pictures because it's easier and quicker for me than other ways where I would take pictures with the camera, upload them to the computer, and then once I was on the computer, I would go and list all of them there. In fact, I'm pretty sure I still have some photos on my memory card of listings I need to list. And it's been like a year. So with our stress and procrastination, it's turned into taking photos with the phone, and then I a lot of times will come online and type out stuff. Especially with issues I have. And then the bath paints in the back. Yes, we bought a ton of bath paints. Do not buy bath paints. These were 100% totally our personal use. I did not buy those to resell at all. They're not worth reselling. It's not, the market is not there. I bought those bath paints because I have 2 little girls that love to take baths, and they used all of them within 4 months. And I want to say we got like 40 or 50 bottles of it. And it was all gone. They used it all. It was a great buy for us. They had a lot of fun with it. Do not buy that to resell. That is not why it's on the table. That is not worth anything. These are, the books are, the jewelry is, the Moen thing. Again, I'll buy Moen. I'll even buy Delta if it's new in packages. I will not buy American Standard if it's new in packages. I will not buy any Walmart brand, like Mainstays or whatever, if it's new in package. I will not buy any Target brand that is new in package. But if it's a Moen or if it's a Delta and it is new in package, I will buy it. However, you have to be incredibly, incredibly careful with these because a lot of times people will return them missing parts or the wrong thing in the package. We have had that happen where we've bought something and we opened it up and it was not what it was supposed to, it was not what it was in the package. So that's interesting. I'm interested to see what's going to happen because our economy is just tanking right now. I have not increased any of my prices on eBay. I've kept everything the same because that's what the price was when I bought it. New stuff I have to list, I'm going to have to be very careful in listing those because I can't do like a standard, well, that's $14.99 or that's $9.99 because I am paying more to do it. I don't know if anyone's looked at their eBay. If you have a store, you get $50 credit to buy eBay shipping supplies. I don't know if you've looked, but we're actually getting less shipping supplies. They're costing slightly more than they were even before Christmas, so that'll be interesting. I'm also wondering if these tariffs do actually happen, if we will get more sales on eBay. I do not do a lot of international sales. I do a lot of like within the state sales. And since I'm in the Midwest, we are able to sell from coast to coast fairly inexpensively when it comes to shipping. So I wonder, as our economy tanks, if that's going to increase possibly my eBay sales. I know this is very boring. You're just watching us look things up on our phones. This is a lot of, welcome to eBay listing. This is a lot of life and what happens. I do miss listing on my computer because I could screen share with you guys and kind of talk about it as I listed it. So I might continue to do something like that maybe every once in a while. But honestly, it's just been easier to take pictures on my phone and then do most of the listing there. I will say the one thing I am horrible at on my phone is custom SKUs. I always forget, like, if I list on my computer, I'm like, box 100. I forget to do that when I list on my phone. I never put where they're located, which is a really bad problem. Always, 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 if I give you no other inkling of advice, always, always, always put where it's located. Even if you have a small inventory, be like shelf 4. So it's so much easier when I know where something is. I can just go and pull like box 5 and just get it out of there. So thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe and have a wonderful day.